The South Point Studio. Here's Jeff Parles.
Look at that. Earlier today at the South Point, the Clydesdales making their wagers at the window. Unfortunately for the Clydesdales, the Broncos not in action this year in the big game. Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Parles. I'm back on set after a few fun days on assignment through the city.
Rough assignment for you.
Oh, I know. What
rough duty?
Hey, look, we have a lot of great stuff from Radio Row coming later in the show. Joe Cardona, who I had the honor of talking to, being honored tonight at NFL Awards with the 13th Annual Salute to Service Award. It's actually a lieutenant in the Navy still. While playing football for the New England Patriots. We'll have an interview I did with him yesterday on the show today. Alexander Madison, of course, the starting running back for the Minnesota Vikings as well. On the show, and former NFL linebacker and former television game host as well, Dhani Jones will be. Who I caught
Very
up
nice,
with yesterday.
Jeffrey. Good buddy.
Will be on the show as well. Later in the weekend, we'll have Kellen Winslow Sr. as well, who we had the honor of talking to.
Right.
Bonded over Mizzou, Vinny.
Very
shocking there.
Wait, I heard there was somebody down on Radio Row saying, "Can I please have all Missouri graduates in this area?"
I couldn't.
Who could that have been?
You know what the thing was? I missed Chase Daniel today. He was there, and my buddy Matt Hamilton, who we've had on the show in the past, is like, "Oh, did you see Chase?" I'm like, "No, I didn't see him."
Chase called. He left you.
You know what? One of our media friends from Mid Missouri, Rod Smith, came in to the studio earlier. Should have brought that up to him. Rod would have been able to get Chase. I just didn't.
By the way, can we go back to the picture?
Please, please.
Because there's several important aspects of
the video of the Clydesdales.
The video, yeah. The beauty of it is when you look at the video. The nice part is first time ever two Clydesdales here at the South Point betting counter and two-way action. You know that
very good.
Chris, Jimmy, and I always enjoy the two-way action. And by the way, I tell you what, this was a great event. They came right through the entire casino with Mr. Gone, and Ryan Growney's and our general manager's in that photo as well. And cheers to
we gotta open
a toast to our good friends from Anheuser-Busch and to Mr. Gone and Mr. Growney for making it all possible. And by the way, this is the third time in Jimmy Vaccaro's life that he's actually had a beer. The first was at his wedding, and the other two were with the Clydesdales. So cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to us.
We're all doing the honors at once. Great video.
God, I love this job.
It sounds good.
Drinking and gambling. What could be better?
Good as always, the taste of a bud, as good as it gets for a kid. For me, who spent 7 years in the state of Missouri.
That's right. And did you see the Clydesdales when you were there?
In Missouri?
Yeah.
So I did the tour in St. Louis, where, of course, you get the Clydesdales at the end. They trot them out. Of course, they trot them out every year, opening day at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And then every once in a while, they make their way to Columbia for big sporting events. They would be there.
Well, this is the Western headquarters. South Point is Western headquarters for the Clydesdales, and we love having them. Always great.
Did Frank ask one of the Clydesdales if they bet the over though? That's the big question.
Frank encouraged both of them to bet the over. So he was having a good chance. Always good, right, Jimmy? When the Clydesdales are here.
Yeah, well, he did it twice because he forgot about the 105 window.
That's right. That's right.
Cancel that ticket. I'm going to Ramlin. We got to give the guy what he wants, right?
That's right. Customer service. That's right.
Jimmy, I want to bring something up real quick because I kept hearing this down at Media Row of just people just surprised of just the evolution of the NFL with gambling, the fact that the game is here, and coupled with that is of, hey, we can't get this game back here quick enough with the way that this week is gone, where they had 25,000 people, 25,000 fans were in attendance at Allegiant Stadium to watch the press conferences on Monday. Wow. And for the media members, everything's within a mile and a half. The stadium's right across that Hacienda Street Bridge. And Jimmy, it is we've talked about it leading up to this game, but now that we're in the week, it really is, it in a good way, it is surreal that the game will be kicking off just a few miles north of where we're standing right now.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. On a serious note, yeah, every once in a while I get this thing inside of me. I'm sure Vincenzo gets the same thing. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, you really like take a step back. And so I like to talk about it because I don't think that the gambling aspect of the side gets the due that it should get. I wouldn't say, you know, can I change the world anymore? No. But I hear things that these people are throwing out there so far from removed of what they're actually talking about. Then, you know, I'm sure Vincenzo is the same thing. You know, what it started as, and hopefully we can talk for a little bit because I got a million things we could talk, and Vincenzo the same thing. So here we are, and I'm glad that I'm here actually for the first time in quite a while, like talking about something that like, I like the kid. You know why I like the kid? Because it keeps everything moving. You try to like take some of the sting out of like actually watching, you know. Yeah, it was the same thing when you got your ass kicked and you wanted to go home and go to bed. But then, you know, then a lot of people say, I'm glad that they lost their money. I'm glad that whatever. But I'm ready to go, kid. Ask me anything, and I'm surely I can help you out a little bit.
No, and again, well, first off, I actually have to bring this up. The article that was written on you, Jimmy, on Yahoo,
Good piece.
was a great piece. Frank Schwab did an amazing job. And there were actually a few people that came up to me on Media Row. They see the great polo I'm wearing right
That's
now with our property's name on it, and there were a few people who asked questions about you, Jimmy. There were.
Wow.
They want to know where you were at Media Row.
People ask, where's Jimmy? I'm like, oh, he's back at home base with the hoodie all, maybe getting a massage right now.
You know, well, gambling's been something obviously with my entire life. I've been doing it here in Las Vegas now for 49 years. And to say that I've seen some change would be an understatement.
Oh, yeah.
You know, from what it was and what it is and where it's going. I sometimes like I'll see things and hear things like they're still gouging the gambling side of it. There's a lot of things that you shouldn't be doing of trying to like get yourself away from something, but you get caught in the middle and you kept doing it over and over again. But I would say 90% of the people who show up for this weekend, whether it's here watching the game or anywhere watching the game or going to the press conference or whatever, this is a form of entertainment that's finally coming to the top where there's nothing ill about it. You're allowed to come. You're allowed to come and bet a $20 bill or a $40 bill. I would suggest that, like, if you came, this is the first or second time, now you can bring your wife, your girlfriend. And conversely, it could be the other way, too, because more women are getting involved in what they do and they like it. And if you do 5 or 6, you know, proposition bets, you can take the whole day of rooting for something. So
absolutely,
I'm ready to go, kid, anytime you are.
Hey, just starting with the coin toss, right, Vinny?
Yeah.
Got 3 coin toss props, don't forget. So the beauty of, and by the way, here at South Point, it's 4 cents vig, minus 102, 102. So will the opening coin toss be heads or tails? The player to call the opening coin toss correct or incorrect, and which team will win the opening coin toss. So those are instant gratification and get the ball rolling. As a follow-up to your question, too, Jeff, and Jimmy's spot on points, you know, I would really contend that the Super Bowl's like it's physically here, but it's always been here. When you consider that Las Vegas has a bigger attendance than the host city of the game, typically, and I mean, it's been standard for us to have 350 plus thousand people here, because we can accommodate those people. Sure. Let's remember, you know, there's over 165,000 hotel rooms in the inventory, but we also make it what it is. I mean, you look at the packet here, 19 pages of bets. To Jimmy's point, you know, you've got the games within the game in terms of the prop bets. You're in action for the entire game, or in the case of the coin toss, instant gratification. Oh, and by the way, you may, you know, once you cash that ticket in, you're probably going to get involved with the end game. Sure. So you've got a lot going for you. And then you've got the entire Las Vegas experience to go with it. Yeah, you know, the dining, the shopping, right, the entertainment, and all the other forms of gambling and all the amenities that we have here at the South Point, things like that. So again, you put all those things together. I think that's what's not only made it special, but they're going to keep it special and really, really amplify it as we move forward.
Well, and again, this is This is going to be the first of many.
Oh, yeah.
In this city, it's
And don't forget, we're in the Final Four rotation
Final
now.
Four rotation as well.
28, I believe, is our first one.
That
I
sounds
think,
right. And
because the Final Four takes place now in football stadiums.
you would imagine a college football national championship game will make
Sure.
its way here. It's supposed to be here next year. It just got moved out. Don't remember the exact reason for that.
Yeah.
But look, it is. We know this. We've been
Yeah.
here. It's a blossoming professional sports town, and now a collegiate sports town.
That's
After
right.
having the Elite Eight and the Sweet 16. Now, granted, UConn ran roughshod over every one of those games, but the
They did.
events were still here. And also, one other thing that I tweeted this out. The first thing I did on Tuesday when I got there, tweeted it out the picture. You saw it, Vinny, where the first thing you see walking into the gigantic room
Yep.
for Media Row are 4 NFL branded slot machines,
Yeah.
just like the slot machine that's just about 7 paces from our studio.
Yeah. How far we've come, right, Jimmy? From the
Well-
days where we couldn't even, as a city, advertise for the game. But thankfully, that's all behind us.
Remember, not remember, you still can't do it. You can't mention the word Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, that's
Just
that
think
will forever
think about
stay.
that.
Yeah.
Just think about, okay, Super Bowl. Nothing changed.
No, you're good. Well, you're not advertising it.
Yeah.
By the way, another sidebar, too, trying to keep up with everything. A great article by Frank Schwab on Jimmy, and he followed up with one on Chris Andrews as well. In fact, we had Frank on the show the day he was here talking with all of us, and stopped into the studio that day, probably a little over a month or so ago, I think it was, right, Jim? So plenty of media folks here, and taking it all in, and taking the time to come stop and chat with us, and we appreciate that.
Well, remember, like, where it came from, where it's at, and where it's going. I mean, I try to look at all three sides. Well, it's easy because you just sometimes sit down by yourself and say, there are times right now, like I know we joke about me going to the spa or whatever, but when you're there, it's really comforting. And then right now on my mind is like the Super Bowl because I enjoy it so much. And the culture of growing up on the East Coast, not that there weren't gambling everywhere in the country and the world, but like back there, because I look at it this way. Growing up in a little town 22 miles from Pittsburgh, the Trafford, Pennsylvania, but like 80% of the people who lived there from there clear down to where the steel mills were in Pittsburgh, 20-some miles away, everybody had a little bit of money. Everybody, you were working on the railroad or you're working in a steel mill. So what it supplied you with is like you were never broke. And that doesn't mean you'd walk up and we had people from Trafford betting $10,000 on the game, but there was a lot of people betting their $50 or $100 because it was something to do. So as a kid, not that I was playing 8, 9, or 10 years old, but I could see and have a feel and understanding, what this stuff is all about. Then I gradually grew like everybody else in a way that like I would consider myself pretty smart on that side of it. The other side, I can't put gas in my car, but that's like another different story.
But I got
hold on.
I got gambling money.
Hold on. Now that he brought up gas real quick, Vinny, you still have the best gas-related photo in the history of the Review Journal.
Unbeknownst to me, I guess I'm the poster person for inflated gas prices.
We're gonna have to pull that picture at some point.
No, we don't have to.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
It's like 3 million of us here in Clark County now, and I'm the guy with the disgusted face at the gas pump. Oh, by the way, then call it what it is. It just went up another dime in the last week. I mean, really, I'm a man of the people. Okay, we didn't raise the VIG here. We lowered the VIG at the South Point, and meanwhile, we're paying more for gas.
Oh, it's so
Can you
good.
believe it?
It's incredible.
I tell you.
Going to this game on Sunday now that we've now made it, of course, we made it through the blank week. Now we're into the week of. Now we're less than 72 hours away from the game kicking off. Well, just about now. It'll be at 3:30 on Saturday. The prop sheet is been live for just about a week now. What's been hit the most? What are the bettors liking? And Chris was telling me beforehand, your guy who came in and put 6 figures down, has still been firing as well on top of that.
Well, Jimmy, we were chatting with Chris a little while ago. The gentleman that came in, so the props went up. Well, we started putting them up that Monday.
Friday,
but Friday was the. We got to the 19-page packet. And by the way, there's still more props to come as we get into the weekend for the cross sport props. Okay, that'll come up, and that's the game itself and various propositions within the game to other sports. But we were chatting with Chris, and the gentleman came in on Friday on opening with the those numbers that went out. Jimmy, he bet 150,000, and he's been back. He went through 200,000.
Yeah. Well, that's like it. To some degree, it's hard to like pick out the one that's gotten the most money on it because what Chris put out there is bettable. So there's bets on every one of them.
Of course.
So, and you know what could happen from something I could say, most rushing yardage by what's his name, and then we send it out, say, or talk about it, whatever. Then you go back and you look, he's fourth now because there's 3 other guys who just came in betting 20, whatever, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. And that's the one reason you know that the props are always positive. Here's the reason. What'll happen next week when everything slows down to some degree? I'm sure me and Vinny, and Chris always does it. He'll sit down and you go through every proposition bet that you have on the sheet and see if they attracted any money. Well, first of all, I mean, sometimes even at my old age, you're like, they're shooting things out there that are useless. I mean, they really are. I mean, you don't have to do all of this. So what we've done, and Vincenzo's right with me on this one, you go through every bet that you've taken on the props. And if you look and say, we have enough props to begin with. We don't need this one because nobody bet it. Mm-hmm. You keep the ones, you try to obviously bring some new ones to the forefront too, but you go through and you want to throw out the ones that really was a waste of time. Why? Because we're running out of space. I mean, everything that we do. So that's a big thing that the general public doesn't understand. We go through every proposition, see what happens. Is it worth to do it again or not?
And then there's always the surprise, right? Like the best is when Chris will be, it'll be, let's say maybe it's like late in the third or early in the fourth quarter, and Chris will look and he'll say, you hear him go, hey guys, or uh-oh. And then there's a prop that's like 500 to 1 that's pending, and but it's good for business because again, it's just like the NCAA tournament when a 16 wins or comes close to beating the number 1, and you know what? Cinderella's got to dance. It's okay.
Well, we can now say 16 over 1 since we've now had it.
We've had it, of course, in 19 with or 8. What was it? 18 with
it was 18 with UMBC
against Virginia, and then of course Virginia rebounded the next year and won it.
FDU was
at
least 24-point underdogs in that game.
Yeah. So
last year,
but you get those types of things, and then you say, you know what, good for the folks that do, because it's good for business. It just builds business. But to your point, Jeff, the most popular position too is the quarterback position.
Oh yeah.
So here's a couple that both quarterbacks have received over, not and no real surprise here too, right? Especially since they've been popular all year, right? So total rushing yards by both quarterbacks. Rushing yards opened for Brock Purdy at 12.5. It's now up to 14.5. So they bet the over everything, from 12.5 through 14. Same thing with Mahomes from 25.5 to 28.5. Now, if you have that bet, you say, well, it might be a Kansas City fan. Well, yeah, it probably is. But the thing to remember is this: if they've got the lead, there's nobody that takes a deeper drop when going to a knee than Patrick Mahomes. And as a matter of fact, last year, when you look at it,
that was the one at the first Super Bowl.
It comes off of his accumulated yards, you see. So bear that in mind. But the props continue to get more attention, Jimmy.
And what, just to add on a little bit to something that's similar to it, but it's a different sport. We, as someone who are behind the counter or have really deemed this is our life. I mean, no matter what you do, it pops up every now and then. We'll be taking future bets for next year's game.
That's right.
That's your last page of the
yes.
We'll do that already. Right. It used to be, we used to wait till August. It's
Great
silly
point.
Because obviously now, we could do this. And by paying attention, and this is our life, you pick up on things. Remember when, what's his name, beat Ralph Sampson? What was,
Chaminade.
They were a point spread of 24. You could get plus 24. Well, we never even thought about that before, and people never even asked about it. But then when they lost the game, it said to us behind the counters, we can put more money lines up. So we're always on the let me see what's going on similar. Yep. And now with the money lines, you can bet a money line on anything you really want.
Yeah. Every game, South Point's got money lines on every game. First half on every game, half times and things for the baskets, and so it's just continue to expand the wagering menu.
So all I'm going to say is, Vinny,
Yes,
when this game is Kansas City 11, San Francisco 5 with 5 minutes to go in the
yeah,
game,
right.
there'll be a little sweating going on. In the back.
So instead of not only you want us to use this Budweiser with like a bourbon for
This is a bourbon shooter.
bourbon chasers.
But
Okay.
what makes it easier to some degree to get off is the in progress betting.
Oh, yes, of course.
Because obviously, you could save yourself or put yourself in a spot where somebody's going to win. I might win both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this game will, especially if it's close and high scoring, the end game will be tremendous.
Well, remember, again, like last year was a perfect example of what you guys are saying.
Mhm.
Where last year's game was the small underdog won a high-scoring game, where if you were an in-game bettor and you did it right, you could have gotten both teams getting points
Oh, sure.
at one point or another.
Sure.
And middled that multiple times. And look, Jimmy, you mentioned it. Not only just for this game and all year long, we talk about it on this show. In-game betting, in-progress betting, there are a lot of people who that's all they do now. Also, when you're doing traditional sides and totals.
Well, sure. And then the thing about this game is because the breaks will be so much longer. Let's remember
That's
the
right,
commercials are
commercial breaks,
longer, so that is going to add to the end game
Right.
for this
And remember
this
what
event.
you'll get. I'm sorry, Vinny.
No, go
But remember what you get also is like people who are here for the weekend having a good time. On their way out the door, they might bet $100 on a future book bet.
Yeah.
And they might stick it in their pocket for 9 months. But you know what? Nothing wrong with it. And it's not going to break you, but you're going to be another part of the Super Bowl, which makes it such a great event.
No, I mean, look, we got, as you said, I can't really see it. That's your list of futures already.
No need to wait.
Yeah.
Look, if you think, trying to think, just look. I mean, look, Baltimore, Buffalo, both double digits. Cincinnati, Joe
Sure.
Burrow could come back, be healthy.
Mhm.
12-1. There
Right.
are good numbers that may not exist for very long.
And I tell you what you need from our side, and most bookmakers would agree
Please.
with me. Whether it's like a 3 or 4 teams that are like really, really close to like they could be the winners when it comes down to this. I've always wanted a Cinderella team to be involved in it. It just seems to perk it up a little bit more when you have someone say, "Wow, they're in it," and they're still getting 17-1. Might be a play there.
Well, that was that 2 years ago was a pretty prime example of that, where the Rams were one of the favorites going into the year. They ended up winning the game, of course, but Cincinnati, I mean, even deep into the season on Cincinnati 2 years ago,
Yeah.
you still were getting around 50-1.
That was a good
40-1.
it was a good
There were
price
good
on them.
numbers on Cincy deep into the year 2 years ago.
Well, how about the year that Tampa won it before the Brady trade when there was 60-1 on
When they
Tampa?
opened before Brady got
And
there,
then
yeah.
Brady, all of a sudden Brady comes in. So you're looking at that, and that's why too what we had to learn on those futures. You've got some really good prices that you mentioned on some of the traditional powerhouses recently, Jeff. But you can't make them too high right now because we want to see some free agent signings that continue to occur. Any cluster trades, right, or significant trades around the draft. Not so much the draft picks themselves, but let's say those draft picks are clustered or partnered with a major quarterback trade or something along those lines. But then again, they'll go up accordingly.
And what Vinny hit, and I'll change it a little bit, but it'll bring up the same type of result I want to get to, is like he used the word cluster. Well, the only people that use cluster, people understand the racket, because if your left guard and your right guard are out at the same time,
There you go.
that's worth the point. I mean, it's not like just like so. The smart guys, and I give them credit for it because they were ahead of us on something like that.
Yeah.
They did it probably a couple years before. He said, "What the hell? All of a sudden they're betting this team, and they can't stop anybody from tackling the quarterback." Cluster guys, they lost 2 of them.
The prime example of that was the Tom Brady Tampa Bay.
Couple
Super
years
Bowl
ago
where
with
Kansas City couldn't block.
They couldn't block because they had a couple of their
had
offensive
four
linemen,
guys.
4 guys were hurt. There was no depth, and it was a makeshift offensive line, including their center, which really you could argue is the most important. Is the line captain. Certainly the blind side is important, but those two hand in hand, and then from there, everything broke down for them.
If you go back to yesterday's show, I had talked to former offensive lineman Kyle Turley, who played left tackle for about
Nice
a
piece,
decade
by the
in
way.
league,
Good job, Jeff.
where I asked that question because Joe Thuney, who was out in the AFC title game, just how do you react as a tackle to the guy being your comrade to your left or your right being out, depending on which tackle position? And Kyle gave a really good answer on that. Definitely go back, watch the show with that answer, because it was a really informative answer, and something that, again, never playing the game. It was something that I learned right on the spot.
No, we had to learn the hard way. Jimmy hit a key point, and Chris knows this. All of us, we've been doing this for a few years, and sometimes there are expensive lessons, and you can't be stubborn, right, Jimmy? You have to. You've got to pay attention to it, and professional bettors were way ahead of us when it came to the offensive line.
As I was saying, go back 30 years where, it was a big deal that all the running backs, because that's what we did. So the totals were completely different than they are now. The totals were in way back when was in 38, 39 all the time. Now you're getting some of the 50 games in there. Why? Because so even like looking to readjust every year your power ratings, you have to look at everything. Because now they don't utilize the running backs as much as they used to. So you knew way going in, the peer average was 30 passes a game. And it shows after the first couple of weeks you were averaging 37 because they were ahead of us. So it's, as we said, it's a good battle. It's a good front. It's a good thing. It takes your mind off some of the crazy things going on there. But like everybody constantly who is on this side and the people who understand the racket is like they know what they're looking for.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, pleasure as always.
Always good to be with you. Good job, Jeffrey.
Always,
look forward to your more pieces from down on Radio Row, right?
More coming
Good.
From Media Row. And in the first conversation, we'll take a quick break. And when we come back, he's going to be receiving the Salute to Service Award tonight at NFL Honors over at Resorts World. Joe Cardona.
Excellent.
Lieutenant in the Navy and New England Patriot long snapper. We'll hear from him. Talked to him yesterday. We'll hear from him next here on Sports by the Book.
Once you've satisfied your hunger, get ready for more of the hottest casino games in Vegas. Our 24-hour, 30-table non-smoking poker room proudly hosts all the most popular poker games with a variety of betting limits. Visit the poker room for a schedule of daily tournaments. Whether you're going to hold 'em or fold 'em, the best place for poker is at South Point Casino. You'll notice that our craps tables are usually the loudest in the casino. If you've never played, join one of our free craps lessons to find out what makes this game so exciting. Check with the craps dealer for schedules and give it a roll. Bingo is also an exciting way to spend your time. We offer 7 sessions of bingo every day. Bingo! And each session includes a cash ball jackpot, 12 bingo games, a progressive double action game, and a $10,000 bonus coverall. Electronic units are available. If you haven't played bingo with us, give it a try today. Guests can also get in on the action at our one-of-a-kind race and sports books. 2 separate rooms designed to maximize your experience and comfort. Our sports book, with over 400 seats, puts you right in the middle of the action, 24 hours a day. The friendly ticket writers are happy to help, and it's conveniently located next to the famous Del Mar Deli, where you'll find supersized portions of delicious deli items like roast beef, pastrami, and Reuben sandwiches, or soups, salads, and pizza. Plus spectacular desserts fit for a king. And right next door is the Racebook. Over 150 seats, each with its own TV screen. There are 16 interactive player terminals, so you can bet right from your seat.
Welcome back in. It's Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio. I'm Jeff Parles. Shout out to our good friends, Vinny Magliulo, Jimmy Vaccaro, for being with us to kick off the show. Also, shout out to our friends over at Budweiser as well. Delicious in the aluminum can. Clydesdales bottle can, whatever, same difference. The Clydesdales were here earlier. Two-way action, as Vinny said, for the 2 Clydesdales that were here in the sportsbook earlier in the day. All right, let's go to what we were doing down at Media Row. I had the privilege to talk to New England Patriots long snapper Joe Cardona, currently a lieutenant in the Navy. He went to the Naval Academy as well. He's receiving the Salute to Service Award tonight at NFL Honors. Here's what Joe had to say to me down at Media Row yesterday. I'm Jeff Parles, and now joining us, New England Patriots long snapper, also lieutenant in the Navy, Joe Cardona, with us right now. He's going to be the recipient of the NFL's Salute the Service Award, presented by USAA. Joe, first off, congratulations, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate you having me on, and thank you for the congratulations. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, and of course, you're a Naval Academy grad in 2015. You're currently a lieutenant in the Navy. Just talk about your experience going through the Naval Academy, and of course, still being of active service right now.
Sure. The Naval Academy is a special place. I was really fortunate to get the opportunity to attend there, and more so to get the opportunity to play football there. I mean, in my opinion, it's a totally unique college experience, and I'm grateful for having that opportunity and getting to do something that was difficult and getting to earn those stripes. And it motivates me every day as I continue to serve, and even while I'm still playing, it's a motivating factor to say I'm representing a lot of people out there that believe in the mission and believe in what I do, and I hope to make them proud every time I'm on the field.
With receiving this award, you're now the 13th recipient of this award. What does it mean to you to get this award, especially while you're wearing the uniform here today?
Yeah, to get to be the 13th award recipient, it means a lot. I mean, the list of individuals that have received it, there's some phenomenal people that have done phenomenal things, and it's really a great opportunity to join another fraternity of individuals that care about the mission, that care about service, and that want to support our service members, our veterans, military families, and it's an honor to join them.
It's an incredible honor. Again, congratulations on the honor. You'll be honored on Thursday night at NFL Honors over at Resorts World, so that'll be a fun thing for you as well. On the football side of things, you brought some jewelry with you, your 2 rings with the Patriots.
Yeah. I mean, I figured it was Super Bowl week. I might as well come and relive a few Super Bowl memories. I think I've always said if I wasn't playing in the game, I wouldn't want to be here. But and that may still ring true. It's really a cool opportunity just for me to dust off, some hardware, get to think about those teams, think about all that we accomplished, and think about how events like this really tie my 2 worlds together, whether it's in the Patriots uniform or in this uniform. I can't separate the experiences. I think having been an NFL player for 9 years, having been with the Patriots, having won a couple Super Bowls, I think it makes me a better officer. And the NFL honors will be a new experience for me. That's for sure. It'll be my first red carpet. It'll be my first time really being recognized on the NFL scale, so I'm looking forward to it. It's a unique experience for sure.
Well, I just to tie everything together, and it's going to be weird coming out of my mouth. Your former coach, of course, Bill Belichick, with Service Academy ties as well. Just playing for him, knowing his background, and then, of course, winning 2 rings under him. Just can you speak to how he helped you along the way, football-wise, and maybe even militarily-wise?
Absolutely. I'll forever be grateful to Coach Belichick. The role he played in my life. He changed my life 3 times, drafting me, signing a couple contracts, and just having him believe in me. And it was an honor to earn his respect every day. It was an honor to just be a part of, the locker room that we had in New England. And, for whatever is next in store for Coach Belichick, I know he'll be successful, and he'll be leading just as he always has.
Of course, now Coach Mayo has been around the team for a long time. Just quick thoughts on Coach Mayo.
Yeah, Gerard's great. I was very fortunate to get to play with him.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see his leadership from the player perspective, from the perspective of him stepping outside the team, leading in the community, and then getting to see him return and develop as a coach. Knowing Gerard, knowing how hard he works, knowing the character he has, and how intellectual he is, I know he's going to bring an approach that's unique and I know that he's going to motivate guys to work hard. So I'm excited. I'm excited for what we're going to accomplish in New England.
Absolutely. Before we let you go, just of course, with USAA is going to contribute $25,000 in your honor to official aid societies representing all of the military branches. Can you just speak to that and to what that means?
Yeah, absolutely. The generosity of USAA to support the military community in donating to aid societies, that's crucial. So many service members rely on getting a little extra bump in times of need, and I think that's something that I've taken on, not only in my capacity as an officer, but in my capacity to raise awareness as a football player. So I'm hoping that getting to be a part of this Salute to Service Award can shed a little light on military families. I'm a military kid myself, service members as they kind of go through their journey, and the support to aid societies is great. The NFL is also matching that to a charity of my choice, a military nonprofit, and that's going to go to a cause in the New England Center and Home for Vets that helps the most at-risk vets, and that's something I believe in, and we need to keep supporting each other, day in and day out, just as they've committed to serve us and committed to fight for our ideals as a country. We need to keep fighting for our veterans.
Absolutely. Again, New England Patriot long snapper, U.S. Navy Lieutenant Joe Cardona with us right now. Joe, again, congratulations on the award, and thank you for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me, and I really appreciate the recognition.
Absolutely.
It's not for me, it's for a lot of people that wear this uniform, that's for sure.
And of course, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
As well. We have more from Radio Row coming your way next. Yes, we will. Again, Joe Cardona will be receiving the Salute the Service Award tonight at NFL Honors, a lieutenant currently in the Navy as well. We'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll go back to me at Radio Row. Dhani Jones played in multiple Super Bowls, one with the Giants, one with the Eagles, also played for the Bengals as well. We'll check in with him, former NFL linebacker. Dhani Jones, next on Sports by the Book.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Welcome back to Media Row. I'm Jeff Parles, and now joining us, played in the NFL, he played in the Super Bowl, he won a title at Michigan. Don't worry, we can
Yeah.
talk about. We can talk.
I didn't win a title in the NFL.
No, I didn't be the one to bring it up.
It's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
I'm not going to get too upset about it. It's just, life experiences take you different places. Sometimes it doesn't always work out the way that you want it to work itself out. Oh, national championship works too.
Yeah, that works. He's the Dhani Jones. So I just want, can we just go to Michigan first? You good with that?
I mean, I'm never going to turn that down.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't.
But are you talking about our national championship?
Yeah.
Are you talking about when I played in the national championship?
We can go.
Are you
whatever.
talking about us being the best university in the world?
I was going to say.
Are you talking about 1817? Are you talking about like how we run everything? What else you want to bring up?
Oh, I was going to say we can talk about your title. We can talk about the title they just won.
We can talk about all the titles.
Yeah.
I mean,
So why don't we go back to yours first?
yeah, that was a great year. Some great people on that team: Charles Woodson, Steve Hutchinson, Brady and Greasy. I mean, we had a stacked team. We have some amazing people, some amazing players, but that's Michigan, right? But it was a phenomenal couple of years to be able to be there and now watch them this past year was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I wanted the team to win, right? Obviously, I wanted the team to be successful. I wanted that national championship for our team. I wanted, the success that Harbaugh wanted. I wanted the success that Coach Moore had. I wanted the success of the players and the people on the team to continue to grow and be celebrated. I mean, it's Michigan. Come on, man.
Well, it's the best helmet in the game too. How could we forget that?
You can't. That's the thing. You can't forget about anything and everything that is Michigan.
So, of course, obviously Harbaugh's now with the Chargers. Sharon Moore gets promoted. Just what are your thoughts on Coach Moore, and what are your thoughts on
Look,
Jim going to the NFL? Yeah.
I think that the last couple games were coached not by Harbaugh,
Yeah,
by
Sharon.
Coach Moore. A lot of people, I think that if you go back and you were to look at the transcripts and you were to see the different plays that were called, I mean, I don't know, because, I just watched the game. I didn't really have the transcript or anything like that. But I wonder if all those plays and that team was really ran by Coach Moore. And that facilitated an interesting transition and an easy answer for Ward Manuel, the athletic director at Michigan, to be able to make the decision to go with Coach Moore, right? And I think as long as everybody's, people are going to, I want people to support that, right? I want people to continue to support, as they will, I'm sure, and give Coach Moore the time and deference that he deserves in order to be successful at Michigan.
This week, of course, you played in the game, and just what is this week like leading up to the game on Sunday?
It's a hard week, I would say, for the players. It's an exciting week for fans. It's a stressful week for family.
Okay.
But it's also a telling week for causes. And, being here, supporting CAFA Momentum, working alongside with Stand Together and all their efforts. CAFA Momentum is fantastic. Justice involved at-risk youth that have been through the juvenile justice system and have found their way out and into CAFA Momentum, which started off in Dallas, Texas, is in Pittsburgh and other places, and soon to be in Denver, and hopefully we get to Baltimore and Houston. If you can see the parallels to the NFL teams, right? These young people where we can empower them and we can believe in them so they can kind of change their aperture on life. So, while everybody's playing, everybody's stressing, and everybody's focusing on things that are outside of and participating in with this game in Las Vegas.
You've been with Cafe Momentum for
4 years.
4 years now.
Yeah, 4 years. Stand Together works with some amazing groups, whether it's criminal justice reform and working with Cafe Momentum. If you're thinking about those that have been in the world of addiction, right? The Phoenix, that's another great organization. Downtown Boxing Gym in Detroit, another amazing organization that looks to the world of education and identifies ways to allow people to believe in themselves and find their unique gifts so they can find their way through school. Look, CAFA Momentum recidivism rate is so low. I don't even want to talk about it, right? You don't want these young people to go back. When you think about, the Phoenix and people going through addictions, the amount of people that stay and stick with their training, amazing, right? The amount of people that get through high school in the Downtown Boxing Gym because of that, right? These are three very, very different communities, but three very, very powerful organizations that are supported by Stand Together. And it's, we work with different nonprofits that are solving big problems.
How can regular people get involved?
Oh, you can go to cafemomentum.org/Super Bowl and learn all about it. And if you're in Dallas, go to the restaurant, have some amazing food. Pittsburgh, Nashville, go check it out. And then if you're in Denver, if you're in Atlanta, advocate on behalf of Stand Together to kind of get involved and bring the restaurant to the town. And if you're in some new spots, raise your hand. You can make a difference.
Before we let you go, Dhani, of course, you played for Andy Reid.
Yep.
Played in the Super Bowl with Andy coaching that team. Now Andy's in yet another Super Bowl in Kansas City. Can you just speak to what it was like to play for Coach Reid?
Coach Reid, I would say this. Coach Reid is not the Coach Reid of which coached me.
Okay.
I think he stepped it up a notch.
Okay.
I mean, he's in the Super Bowl
Continue,
twice, right? He's
continue
in the Super Bowl.
improvement. Yeah,
Continual
yeah,
improvement.
yeah.
I mean, when he was coaching me, unfortunately he had lost the division championship 4 times. Right. So he's a different guy with a similar but an adjusted plan. He's learned from his mistakes and he's gotten another chance, and that's why he's so successful. But Coach Reid, love playing for him. He taught me a lot of things. Spags, who's my linebacker coach, and then all of a sudden head coach of the Giants and now defensive coordinator for Kansas City. Love playing for him too. So I'm just excited for them to play, and hopefully they win.
Dhani, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Dhani Jones, everyone. We're back with more coverage in a little bit for Media Row. It was a lot of fun talking to Dhani, a man who knows media for sure as well. Of course, played for the Bengals, played for the Giants when they played the Ravens in the early 2000s, played for the Eagles. One of the years the Patriots beat them as well in the mid-2000s. A lot of fun talking to Dhani Jones. All right, we're going to take one last break. When we get back, get a current NFL player as well. Alexander Mattison, running back of the Minnesota Vikings, was able to sit down with him earlier today. We'll get the conversation I had with Alexander Mattison next here on Sports by the Book.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry-aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone. And if you're craving a taste of Italy, come experience delicious Italian cuisine and the attentive service at Don Vito's. Our culinary team starts with the freshest ingredients and transforms them into traditional favorites. And don't forget Italian desserts. Don Vito's. Savor the taste of Italy. Finally, if sushi is more your style, join us at the popular Zenshin Asian restaurant and sushi bar, where we're serving up the freshest sashimi, nigiri, and sushi rolls. And beyond the sushi, an exciting contemporary Asian cuisine menu, plus a variety of specialty drinks, Japanese and domestic beer, wine, and sake. Balance your hunger with Zenshin.
Welcome back to Media Row. I'm Jeff Parles, now joining us for the Minnesota Vikings, and Alexander Mattison with us right now. Thanks for being with us today.
Of course. Pleasure's mine.
Before we get into football, I just want to talk to you about what you're down here on Media Row promoting today, and also your foundation as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to be here partnering with Leo Vici and with my brand, I Am Gifted. We do a lot of different things. With the brand, we wanted to be more than just a brand, but a movement, just to spread that love and positivity in the world. And let everyone know that you're born with the gift, and you just have to find it, embrace it, and use it to spread some light in the world. So I'm glad I can be here and try and spread a little light with you and
Absolutely.
here at Radio Row. Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you on. To go to football real quick, I just want to go back to the game you guys played here this year, which was you guys set a record. You won the game at least, but you set a record for the first ever indoor NFL game without a touchdown.
Yeah.
A 3-0 game, but hey, you guys won the game. But just playing in Vegas and now seeing this event in Vegas, just what was that environment like that day? Again, that was the first time you guys came here with the Vikings.
Yeah. It was a day. It was a defensive day. But I mean, last time we came here, we left with the W, so it feels good to be back. It's one of those things, you don't have to come here and feel the energy of coming back to where you lost last. But
Right.
yeah, and I mean, it was an amazing time. I heard nothing but great things, even from my family, about how the fans were as well. Which for me, growing up in California, you always knew Raiders fans were a little bit more of a tough and
They're a different brand.
they're definitely not nice, but it was awesome. I think that this city is amazing as far as everything that they do, everything they have to offer. So to be here, for to have the Super Bowl here, it's pretty amazing.
You played at Boise State.
Yeah.
So you came here to play UNLV.
Yeah.
A little bit different, especially with now, again, UNLV plays in Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah.
When you were at Boise, you had to go all the way out into the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, boy.
I'm trying to think. I don't think, because I only did 3 years and
Yeah.
we flopped.
Was it with the weird scheduling with that?
They came to us.
Okay.
And I didn't get a chance to play in Vegas, but we played the Vegas Bowl.
Okay. So
When
you
we-
had the experience
So I got,
of playing
I
at
got
that
that
point.
experience. Yeah, I'm not sure what the UNLV stadium situation is like, but I know we got to play out here. for the Vegas Bowl.
That was their stadium.
Okay,
in the
okay.
past.
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
They're
so
all the way out in the wrong
we
side
got
of
to
town.
got to play there against Oregon. That
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
that
remember
was
that
a fun
game.
time. Yeah, that was a fun time. But even then, being able to come here and have a trip here, it was awesome. It's always an awesome time to get here and be with some teammates and stuff like that. So. Yeah, Vegas is always a good time.
Just going back to your year with the Vikings, of course, Kirk gets hurt in Green Bay. Course of the season kind of changes because got off to the slow start and seemingly had found it before the Achilles on Kirk pops. Just talk about a season where 4 different quarterbacks play and Josh had to come in mid-year, did pretty well at the start. Just talk about just how that went with having to deal with 4 different guys under center for you guys.
It was crazy. I just clicked. It just clicked to me that there were 4 different quarterbacks throughout the course of the end of that season. I mean, you taking a handoff, catching the ball from a different quarterback it's one of those things that's underrated. People don't understand,
Right.
how different that is. Blocking for a quarterback, the O-line up front, they block for a quarterback. So, when you have Josh, who's a guy that can scramble, your blocking has to be an extra second and a half.
Right.
Or has to be a little bit different because the pocket has to be shaped different for a guy like that. All of that stuff you have to take into account when you have different quarterbacks back there. All of them, are different in stature, different aiming points when they hand you the football. It was just a rough time overall for us to just catch a rhythm because you get in a rhythm all the way through off season with your guy, with Kirk Cousins, and then you have to kind of switch things up so quick. It's definitely hard for anyone to get in that type of rhythm, especially in this league with the amazing defenses that you have to go up against.
But 2 more before we let you go. Dalvin Cook, of course, was the guy you were behind.
Yeah.
Just can you speak to the impact that Dalvin had in helping you learn at the NFL level?
Man, that's my guy. That's my brother right there, man. Even to this day, talking to him, FaceTiming him, talking with everything that he's taught me. I'm forever grateful that he's forever my big brother. And just everything I know now, everything that I've learned up to this point, he showed me the ropes.
Absolutely. One more time, I'm gifted.
Yes,
You're out
sir.
here promoting today, and just shining a light on every aspect of life, right?
Yes,
life,
sir.
right, Alexander?
Yeah, and letting everyone know that you're not alone, and trying to emphasize what we can to do our part and emphasize mental health awareness and suicide prevention, and just trying to spread that light.
Absolutely. Alexander Madison, Minnesota Vikings running back. Thanks for hanging with us today.
Of course.
We're back with more. We're from Media Row in a little bit. Big thanks to Alexander Madison for taking the time today. What a wonderful guy. Doing great things in the community in Minneapolis and across the country as well. Later in the weekend, don't have time for it today, but we'll have it later in the weekend. Kellen Winslow Sr., Pro Football Hall of Famer, arguably the best player to ever come out of my alma mater, University of Missouri. I was able to sit down with him earlier today. We'll get that either on Saturday or Sunday. We'll figure that out. But we'll have my short conversation with Kellen Winslow Sr. over the weekend here on the show. Big thanks to everyone who joined us throughout the week in Radio Row. Alex White will be down there tomorrow, so who knows who Alex will run into and get a few minutes with over the next day. So looking forward to that. We'll play a lot of it over the weekend. And, of course, our coverage on Sunday begins at 8:30. Alex and I will be on for 2 hours. May even hear the best of what we did at Radio Row this week yet again with everything coming on the game on Sunday. Of course, just down the road from us up north, 15, Allegiant Stadium, the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. For the first time in Las Vegas, the Super Bowl, of course. Still down, the Niners 2-point favorites in this one against Kansas City. On Football Friday tomorrow with Chris and Vinny, Jimmy, I'm sure will pop in as well. Get my thoughts on where I'm at betting-wise. I have cut the list. I've cut the list down by 40% from what I had the other day, guys. Exciting stuff. We cut it down by 40% already. We'll probably be cut by another 40% by tomorrow's show. Been a fun week here in Las Vegas. It is surreal more than anything to have the biggest event in the country come to your city. It's been a lot of fun and will not be the last time that the big game is played here in Las Vegas. All right, we are back tomorrow at 3. Of course, make sure you, if you're on the YouTube page, make sure you watch back everything we did through the week at Media Row. Punchlines as well. Frank did what a job by Frank and Ryan, by the way, yesterday over at the NFL Fan Experience. And Frank had a lot of fun with him on Monday over at Allegiant Stadium, and also too the Clydesdales. Great content from Frank on our Twitter page at Sopo Studio LV with the Clydesdales. Again, two-way action coming from the Clydesdales just behind us earlier today. All right, let's get out of here for today. Big thanks to Vinny Maliula, Jim Vaccaro for stopping in. Big thanks on Media Row, Dahani Jones, Joe Cardona, and Alexander Madison for stopping by. I'm Jeff Parles. We will see you again tomorrow, 3 o'clock Pacific time, the final Football Friday of the 2023-2024 season. Chris Andrews, Vinny Maliula, and myself taking you through Chris and Vinny's final thoughts heading into the game on Sunday. My final thoughts on Super Sunday. We'll see you again tomorrow, 3 o'clock, Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.